this book also has a little note on Gillette. And, we have consumers who will buy at a lower cost. We have a lot of small manufacturers who can easily copy whatever is patented. How would you plan to spread awareness of the fact that this kind of protection of intellectual property will really help the economy?
Thank you very much for that question. First, I would like to say that the CII is doing a lot in terms of spreading awareness. So a lot of organizational activities happening and intergovernmental decisions are being made. Like I think a couple of years ago, was it, CII and the US Customs sat together to have a training session for the Indian customs officers. And apart from that, there are annual and semi-annual programs that go on for awareness. That is one answer. Also, Professor Vivek is a part of the MHRD. Yeah, so the MHRD negotiates in terms of IP, and also one of the mandates is to spread awareness and to create courses and capacity building programs for IP awareness. Gillette is there in the book with a particular context, and the context is globalization. So India is not just a market which can consume new products, but also help to develop new products. And Giridhar and I think we discuss this quite often. Low-cost technology is not low technology. In fact, nobody but Gillette could have done that. So bringing down a product which has 70 parts down to 4 parts is not something that can be done when a company has no idea of how that is made. So, okay, low pricing. Okay, low pricing is also not a low-cost development of the technology. In fact, Gillette spent more than $3 million to come up with a 4-part razor or 4-component razor. So it's, sorry, Gillette Guard. Men will know more about it. So, yeah. So the point that we often face, even in IIT, we find that there is a great thrust on low-cost technology. It costs more to make low-cost technology because you have to make the high-cost product, and then you have to work on the market and development aspects to bring it down to that cost. So that said, yes, once the product is made, it is easy to copy. But that is where your market segmentation works. And that is why I feel that IP has to be integrated more with the market than with the law. Because if you are going to buy Gillette, you're not going to buy a local brand. And there is a development of brand mentality that comes in, consumer loyalty that comes in. And we worked, in fact, Hari and I had a very interesting experience all of the last 2 years working with a company that produced household appliances. And their biggest problem was that as soon as they brought out a product, they were in the higher segment of home appliances. Whenever they came out with a new design, in 2 months, there would be cheaper versions of that product in the market. And the question was, should our client go against each of these small companies? And Hari and I would tell them that it's a seasonal experience, because as soon as there is a competitor of yours, a real competitor of yours who's going to come up with a newer design, these companies are going to manufacture their designs. So it isn't necessary that we have to go after every one of them. Here, the market of my client is very different from the market of the company that is counterfeiting your product. So, yeah, that's what I would like to say.
I'd like to add a little to this because this is a similar issue we faced, in the manufacturing sector where, small components, engine components, etc. were all counterfeited. And we found huge markets in the north, which were doing it very blatantly. And I couldn't, very honestly, being part of the whole thing, I couldn't identify the original from the duplicate myself. So yeah, same vendor. I mean, and sometimes even our dealers, distributors are all involved in it because it's a secondary market and it's fast additional money. So there are 2 ways of protecting it from the manufacturer's point of view. One is tighten your IP within the company, as in making identification marks so unique that, if there is a raid conducted and you're able to catch them, you should be able to on the spot tell this is mine, this is not mine. That is one within the company. Second thing is constant raids, we are doing through third party consultants who will target certain areas, who will first identify, they will do a demographic survey of which is the areas where this is predominantly being done, who are the fellows who are doing it, and get a clearance from us saying, irrespective of who it is, take them into custody. So they do all the legal part of it is all first done and kept tight before they go and do the raid. And they handle the end to end, because our name doesn't come out onto the, in the, how do I say, to the front when such raids are conducted. So nobody knows who is, doing these raids. It's presumed that it is the authorities who are doing the raid, but we, fund the raid as such, we say. After that, I think the most crucial aspect is give awareness to what you have done. That is through publicity. About if you're doing 2 or 3 raids consistently in one area, and if it's your product that's being, consistently done, give as much publicity, because I think publicity sets in that fear, okay, here is a company who's really taking it now, very seriously and not going to take this counterfeiting anymore. That you have to do it. Like somebody told me, you will not get it completely wiped out. There will be some fellow at some end doing it, because our Indian tendency is to copy. So that will automatically be there, but you can reduce the intensity. That is what I think basically you should be aiming for. As long as you are prepared to accept that, I think you will be doing a good job. But publicity at the end of the whole thing, saying this is the product, I did this, that part of it, I think the company's face should come forward and say that I'm not going to take this line down. Till such time you can, be a backbencher. It helps.
Just a comment on this spares and components. See, one of the problems is it's not all about protecting IP. See, large OEMs, particularly automobile sector, I don't know about TAFE, tend to control the supply of components and spares by not permitting their authorized dealers to sell in what is called as the aftermarket. I'll come to that. Secondly, they also do not permit non-TAFE components or non-Hyundai components to be, manufactured by other vendors for using in the automobiles. It applies to other machines also. Recently, the Competition Commission has fined Hyundai Motors and Maruti and Tatas and a whole lot of OEMs in the automobile sector for restricting competition, saying that the